Why would you do this to me? So stressful. This package is so beautiful. Does this one have cruelty and this one doesn't? They're just so pretty. Hi mammals, it's Mad About Animals Mags, the animal welfare, your favorite animal welfare scientist, mythical creature, and vegan cruelty-free makeup and skincare enthusiast. I've never done like a here are my fairy wings out, and I got out of the shower and my hair is still wet and my face is completely bare. And since the topic of today's video is skincare, I thought it would be really fun to do that, and that like would be even more camp than usual. And let's be so for real, this entire channel is pretty camp. Let's do a really quick why do we care that makeup is cruelty-free. I'm gonna get into my human disguise for just a second. Nothing up my sleeves, just lying. Erwin was up my sleeves. He is just the sweetest, most loving, most cuddly boy in the world, and I love him so much. Tiny kisses. That's why rats are called pocket puppies. When you buy makeup that is not cruelty-free, you are actively paying for animal testing on lovely boys like Erwin. Erwin did lose his being around wings privileges. It doesn't matter why, but it may have something to do with the fact that rats are rodents, which is from Latin and means teeth that gnaw. Speaking of chewing things, kind of, I pick at things. I have something called skin picking disorder, also known as dermatillomania. I've heard it referred to more often as skin picking disorder, which is annoying because I think dermatillomania sounds like way more fancy. So a couple years ago, I went to the dermatologist. And she suggested a skincare routine that was like super, super helpful, life-changing for me. But the products she recommended were CeraVe, which is not a vegan cruelty-free brand. And I was like, I really don't want to use that. What are my other options? And she was like, there really are no other options. And so I looked online to try to find things with the same ingredients, but like I couldn't really find them. Because of the skin picking disorder, I was literally sometimes losing like several hours a day to dissociating and picking my skin in the mirror, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go with what she gave me. It's not what I want to be doing, it's not where my morals are. Now that my skin is in a much better place, my brain is in a much better place, I was like, it's time to scour the entire internet to find good dupes of the products my dermatologist recommended to me. And let me tell you something, it did take scouring the internet to find that. My new skincare routine is going to involve these vegan dupes of the CeraVe products I was using, and then some prescribed medicated creams. So just because you are kind of backed into a corner where you feel like you need to participate in a system that's causing harm in this one arena doesn't mean that you should therefore go, well, if I'm causing harm here, might as well cause harm everywhere. Like, no, let's do the opposite of that. And instead, let's go to a place of, there's a lot of harm out there, let's reduce harm wherever we can. So this is what my face looks like at the beginning of this process. My skin is so much drier and more difficult to handle and more sensitive during winter. So I'm not going to immediately throw everything out and be like, it's all terrible. If things don't work during winter, I'm gonna give it a season or two for character development, and then we'll see where it goes next season. That's a television joke. As you can see, when I'm not wearing makeup, I have very dark circles under my eyes. That is a genetic thing. I got so much sleep last night, and then I napped because I love to nap. And you can see like there's a spot here that I've unfortunately been picking at because I'm stressed. And then you can see like my skin, like there are little bumps here and there. Like we're not perfectly smooth right now, but we're also not at a place where it's inhibiting my daily life, like making me want to tear my skin off constantly, which is great. We're doing that with our nails instead. Whoops. That's the starting place. We'll see where it goes after I get back to doing my skincare. Why did I stop doing my skincare, you ask? ADHD is the answer. Wow, very exciting. On that note, I am doing an unboxing today of my new skincare. I don't know why I'm singing, but I often am. So the first thing is from Pacifica, and I have used Pacifica makeup before. I really like this company for a whole bunch of reasons. They are vegan, they are cruelty-free, and they are not owned by a parent company that is not cruelty-free, and those are all things that I love. And also the eyeshadow palette I got before was called Animal Magic, and it had the most beautiful packaging I've ever seen in my life. I know that's not like an ethical concern, but it was cool. Pacifica has this box. I think this pattern is really beautiful. I think it's super cute. This side of the box says 100% vegan and cruelty-free. You may be wondering to yourself, how can something be vegan but not cruelty-free? From an ethics perspective, they can't be. But from a packaging perspective, cruelty-free means that it was not tested on animals. Vegan means that there are no animal-derived ingredients within the product. That's a little confusing. Thank goodness I have a whole video that helps you look at the certifications, so definitely check that out. If you liked my rats, there's like a lot of them running around and being adorable in their little winter Christmassy village. And if you didn't like my rats, no, there's not. And then this side of the box, it says Ion for the planets, the animals, and you. I'm pretty sure under that tape, it says compassion for the planet, animals, and you. Like, it could be Ion, we don't know. And then we also have this little sign here letting us know that this tape is recyclable and that everything inside is vegan. I'm just a huge fan of all of that. Hooray, Pacifica. Listen, I'm not an expert in environmentalism. Greenwashing is a huge problem. So for all I know, everything that this package is made of is like the worst thing possible for the environment, and they're just fooling me. But like, hopefully that's not the case. And also, like, I am not trying to shade Pacifica at all. They seem, for all intents and purposes, to be a wonderful and genuinely caring company. I'm like struggling right now to open this because that's who I am as a person. This is vegan collagen cream. I think this package is so beautiful. I love this color scheme. I think it's very classy. Cruelty-free is a thing that people can claim with no repercussions, whether it's true or not. You can just say that something is cruelty-free. What you're looking at here is the PETA symbol that is certified cruelty-free. The two official symbols you want to be looking for on the back of a box is either the PETA certification or the Leaping Bunny certification, which actually has even higher standards than PETA, so that's always great. Collagen is usually not vegan. In this case, it is. And look, once again, just this very, very demure, very mindful. Is that over? Did I miss that bus? As we discussed, I do have these super dark circles under my eyes, and hydrating them definitely helps. Guys, I'm so in love with the color schemes. Not why you should buy things, but like, man, give me like a soft pink and a gold like that, and I am so happy. It matches the gold veins of my wings. The jar is made from glass rather than plastic. I appreciate that as well. It's not like a moral failure on your part if you have dark circles under your eyes. Like, you are fine, I promise. They do also feel dry, so from a physiology point as well, I'm excited to put this on my eyes. Under my eyes. I'm not gonna put the collagen on my eyes. That would be a little wild even for me. I also got a vegan water resistant eyeliner because I cry a lot. I mean, just look at the packaging. Again, the gold shiny. Oh my gosh, I didn't even notice. I'm sorry that I'm spending so much time on packaging. No, I'm not. That's what an unboxing is for. Look at the inside of this one. Ugh, living for it. They're just so pretty. This is another vegan collagen one. I don't know if you can really see it, but these very beautiful little white flowers on it. As I said, my skin gets so dry in winter, and that includes my hands. And look, it says the tube is 50% recycled. So once again, it really does seem like they are making a concerted effort to live up to what it says on the box in terms of being kind to the animals and the environment and to you. And I know that they're being kind to you because there's a note right here that says caution, do not use directly in the eye. And I think it's nice that they don't want us to put this vegan collagen hand cream directly in our eyeballs. I think that's a very reasonable. Final thing from Pacifica. This is the vegan ceramide extra gentle face wash. And this was one of the things where the first time, like that hand cream, the collagen, those are just my comfort when I have dry skin. This is the first thing directly replacing one of the things that my dermatologist recommended. And it was so difficult to find something like this, which is why that first time I failed. But the second time I was like, no sleep till Brooklyn. Except Brooklyn in this case is finding things with the same ingredients or lack thereof, but vegan and cruelty-free things. So the first thing you will see is this is fragrance-free, which is one of the things I had so much difficulty finding. So that was great. Extra gentle face wash. Basically, this is replacing a CeraVe product that had ceramide with no oil and no fragrance. And this indeed is no oil, no fragrance, ceramide. I'm very excited about this. Once again, we have a tube that is made of 50% recycled plastic. Once again, do not use it directly in your eye. That is fair. I was also told that it needs to be a foaming cleanser, and this is indeed a foaming cleanser. So it's all of those things, but without hurting my friends, the animals. I have to assume that it's going to do the same thing that the CeraVe did. And if it doesn't, again, that is quite possibly seasonal. As a scientist, I cannot stress enough how much I'm not doing science in this. Like, I want to make this a whole journey. I want to see what happens. But a big thing in science, you want to be able to isolate variables so that your conclusions can be properly attributed to one thing or another. I haven't been doing my face routine. I'm going to resume using these medicated products that I haven't used in several months. So that could cause irritation with my skin. And beyond that, it is winter, which always causes irritation with my skin. And the new products that I'm using to replace the CeraVe, there are 3 of them. So we cannot isolate any of those variables. I mean, listen, if it works, then the result is that it's all working and that's great. But if it fails, we cannot isolate the variable that made it fail. And speaking of failure, as we saw, the first box had Pacifica all over it. The second box, blank. And what's exciting about this for me is that I got these like at the beginning of last month. I was really proud of myself because I'm not kidding when I say it was on my to-do list for like 8 months. But it has been a month and there are other things that I've ordered. And I think this is the other skincare products, but who's to say? Y'all, I may be framed slightly differently now, and that's because my heart like stopped for a second there. It was such a jump scare. So I needed to go look some things up, and it was so stressful that I needed emotional support rats when I returned. And by the way, even if you don't like rats, lots and lots of cats and dogs also are subjected to animal testing each year. So yes, animal testing bad in a very tangible, concrete way for me, which is why when I started unpacking my new INKEY products, which is a brand I haven't used before, and suddenly found that there wasn't any symbol on them, unlike the these lovely guys where you see the PETA certification right there. I suddenly was like, oh my god, did I somehow mess up? Are they not cruelty-free? Because I had spent so many hours and hours and hours and hours trying to find something that was cruelty-free and vegan, and very specifically had 4% benzoyl peroxide, because I found cruelty-free and vegan brands that had like 8 to 10% benzoyl peroxide. But when I called my dermatologist and was like, what about 8%? She was like, what about no? And I was like, darn it. So I didn't even find anything with 4% benzoyl peroxide, but I did find something with 5% benzoyl peroxide. And I was like, that is good enough. And that is the thing from INKEY. And here it is. And I saw that it said tube and cap are recyclable and made with 65% recycled plastic. That's great. We love that. Unlike Pacifica, no fancy packaging. That's okay. I don't need it. Here's what freaked me out. So it's here again, it says carton, tube thing are made with plastic, or sorry, this is how stressed I was by this. Carton, tube, and cap are recyclable and made with 65% recycled plastic. Great. I didn't see anything about it being cruelty-free or vegan on the packaging. And then what continued to freak me out even more is that I also got this moisturizer, which once again is something that is fragrance-free and oil-free. And again, no certification. It does say no fragrance, no cruelty, which then confused me even more because I was like, wait, so does this one have cruelty and this one doesn't? And then what freaked me out even more is on this one, which I didn't even order. This was just like a little sample they threw in there. This one has this little logo from the Vegan Society. They're not on here. Very few makeup products that I've seen or skincare products actually take the time and effort to get certified by the Vegan Society. So I was like, okay, so maybe this one's vegan and those two aren't vegan. And like, I guess even if the company is cruelty-free, but the benzoyl isn't vegan, that's still better than it being not cruelty-free and not vegan, because I have not found any other benzoyl peroxide. So I'm like freaking out at this point because I took so many hours out of my life trying to find a vegan and cruelty-free makeup. So I go to the INKEY List's website. And not only are they cruelty-free, but they're Leaping Bunny certified. And if we remember from the beginning of the video, I mentioned that Leaping Bunny has even more stringent standards than PETA. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then I looked at individual products and there's like a Q&A as to whether they're vegan or not. And I didn't go through every single product to check if they're vegan, but I did check the two things that I ordered, and they were both vegan. And one of them even said certified by the Vegan Society. I can't remember if the other one did or not, because the second I saw it, I was like, well, thank goodness. But also, why would you do this to me? So stressful. I mean, like, what are we doing with our lives here that we are not clearly putting on this vegan and cruelty-free when it is indeed vegan and cruelty-free? I mean, some companies put that on their packaging and it's not even true. That's just a baseless claim they're making because they can. And here is a company where these are certified to like the highest level of cruelty-freeness, and they're not telling me that. They're giving me a heart attack right now, making me think my hours of work that was stressing me out was all for naught. And again, like, maybe the hours of work shouldn't have stressed me out, but they did. Things like this are difficult for me. Okay, let's check out. I do see that there's writing inside this. Let's open it up. I know that I am going to keep it because online it said, when I checked, it said vegan. So let's see what's up. And then, as always, this is the kind of box that you can then give your rats. I know you were waiting to hear.
Okay, more packaging information. The pack is made from minimum 65 recycled plastic and is recyclable. We know that. I know that. Ingredients ethos. We strive for transparency and innovative ingredients. Okay, but like, I know that you're vegan because I just checked the website and it said that you're vegan. Why are you not telling me this on the packaging? Oof. I mean, I literally just checked the website for these products specifically to make sure that they are vegan. And these products specifically, indeed, said that they were vegan. So, I mean,
This one on the inside that has the vegan certification on the outside, like the ingredient ethos in here doesn't say vegan while the other one doesn't.
I know that I was like out of 12 during this part of the video. Didn't even get to 4%, but it was close at 5%. So when I thought that had all been for naught, I was unhappy. So here's my review of this unboxing thus far. Haven't tried any of the products. This is not a review of the products. This is strictly a review of the packaging. I love that all of the packaging from these companies has touted itself as made of recycled materials and itself recyclable. I think that's wonderful. I'm trying to care for the planet as much as I can, so things like that are great for me. I love that this little guy is glass instead of plastic, and I'll probably use it for like jewelry or something when I've run out of this. And of course, I think the Pacifica packaging is obviously like very beautiful and aesthetically pleasing in a way that like this packaging isn't, but it's, you know, it's clean, it's black and white, it's very simple, it's just very focused on the ingredients, but it's so focused on the ingredients that it fails to tell me that it does indeed have the certifications that I thought it did, and was just a horrible jump scare that caused me to like lose my mind. And again, that's something for me to work on. However, I would say thus far, in a competition between Pacifica and INKEY List, they're tied because INKEY List had more options for the skincare I needed in terms of ingredients. I appreciate the clarity that they had in terms of what is good for what, but I appreciate the beauty of the Pacifica packaging, and I appreciate the fact that it didn't try to kill me by not failing to declare that it is cruelty-free and vegan. Yeah, I feel like this second half of this video is gonna make me look absolutely insane. And I'm tired and stressed enough and have enough to do that I am not going to redo it. So I hope that if you have watched this far, you have fallen in love with my rats too, or taken in the fact that animals you may also love are used in animal testing, and that you therefore understand why animal testing is something that I don't want to engage with whenever possible, and that because of that, you can find the same humor that I did in my absolute breakdown over this, rather than just being like, oh, so she's crazy. Two things can be true. I can be crazy and justified in worrying about animal testing and animal-derived ingredients. We're going to do this very unscientific experiment to see if they seem to work as effectively for me. If they do, I'm gonna contact my dermatologist and be like, hey girl, hey, here are some really great vegan and cruelty-free alternatives for the next time a client asks you. And if they don't work, I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because again, it's not science yet, but fingers crossed that they all work. And that's episode 1 of Desperately Seeking Skincare, and follow along on the journey. We'll see if I can do it with regularity and consistency and then go from there. So hopefully I will see you in a few weeks with some results from this. Be kind to others, be kind to animals, be kind to yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. my new skincare routine is going to involve these vegan dupes of the CeraVe products I was using, and then some prescribed medicated creams. The people who are preemptively, I don't know why I say that. Like, I usually get 2 comments on these videos, but God forbid people ever start like watching my YouTube videos. I just want to get out ahead of that in case people are like, and so you just think nobody should ever use medication ever because it was tested on animals? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's that classic tweet where it's like, on the internet, someone can say, I like pancakes, and someone's like, oh, so you hate waffles? Like, I'm aware that most of our current medications are created through animal testing historically. I'm a big fan of things like the Johns Hopkins Center for Animal Testing Alternatives, I believe it is called. I will double check that. This is a great time to mention that rats are not actually covered under the Animal Welfare Act in America. So we literally have no idea how many rats are tested on in laboratories each year, including for cosmetic purposes. And that's really upsetting to me. And also legally, you don't have to administer any pain drugs to them. And yeah, and based on some figures that I calculated based on other small animals and extrapolating from there, my guess is that rats and mice are probably given pain drugs. This is what happens when you have rats. They're probably given pain drugs at a lower rate than any other animal, even when involved in painful experiments. I just wanted to throw that in while I'm snuggling these very, very sweet babies, because that is why this isn't just like an abstract thing for me of like, oh, animal testing is bad. Like, I have a very concrete reason to feel that way. I think that's beautiful, to just be yourself. And sometimes yourself is a fairy who doesn't understand human things like scissors.